Mine's gonna definitely be loud.
Hello and welcome to the Booksplosion live show for The Sky Blues by Robbie Couch. This month we are working with Simon Team.
Paint? With the paint that Sky used to paint his room.
I'm Jesse. Sorry.
I'm Christine.
I'm Kat. And we're
Explosion. Hello.
If you're new here and you don't know how this goes, each month we pick out a book and we read it together, then we have a live show, and this past month we read The Sky Blues. This book is about a boy named Sky. Oh, I almost just had a hard time remembering his name. His name is Sky, and he lives in this small town, and he's
Sky Baker.
Yes, Sky Baker.
I know his whole name.
Wow, look at you. You're so educated. He lives in this very small town, so he's mostly just kind of played it quiet, but he decides that he wants to do this big promposal for his crush, but this hacker finds out his plans for this promposal and leaks it in this really homophobic e-blast situation that goes viral. And so Sky and his friends decide that they are going to figure out who this hacker is and kind of take them down, essentially. Not take them down, but just figure it out and
yeah, it's kind of like they're trying to expose him.
Excuse me, I was trying to find the word. But yeah, that's what the story is about. I really enjoyed it. We're going to hop into our thoughts first, non-spoilery thoughts, and we're going to get into spoilers. But before that, actually, our Booksplosion book of the month for next month is Happily Ever Afters.
Elise Bryant.
Yes, we had a book switch, so this is going to be our book of the month for the month of May. Ooh, it's May. I hate it.
It's already May.
Yes. Does one of you guys want to give a rundown on that book?
I can do it. In this, we are following a 16-year-old girl named Tessa, who wants to be a writer, and she usually just writes stories for her friend and doesn't let anyone else see them. But then she gets accepted to this prestigious writing program, and once she's there, she kind of has writer's block and the words just aren't coming. So her best friend sort of suggests this, she likes to write romance. So her best friend suggests that she needs to have her own swoony romance to inspire her. And she encourages Tessa to go on this sort of journey of putting herself in these romantic novel scenarios so that she can experience her own love story and have that. But as she goes along with this, she starts to realize that she's not really being true to herself. And she needs to sort of decide if she wants to be true to herself or if she wants to keep going with this romantic novel scenario thing.
Yeah. We're really excited to read that one. It's our May book of the month. We don't have a live show date set yet.
So no.
We will announce that on our socials. If you want to follow us on Instagram specifically, I believe that's a great way to find out all the upcoming dates and whatnot. So it's Instagram.com/Booksplosion.
We've got Jordan running our Instagram, so she's on top of it. We're slower on our own things, I feel to talk about the Booksplosion stuff. So follow our Booksplosion Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, today we were talking about The Sky Blues. Again, we partnered with Simon Teen, and who wants to share their thoughts first?
I will.
Okay, Christine.
I loved this book, and it took me I just I was listening to it, and then all of a sudden I was just completely engulfed by it. That happens sometimes with audiobooks where in the beginning you're just kind of casually listening, and then all of a sudden it's everything you think about and all you do is listen to the audiobook all day from the neck until you finish. I had one of those days. And I was crying walking the dog. Oh. the thing happened when that was happening, and he was in the yearbook room with Ali, and I was oh my God. And I really think they did a good job writing the synopsis in a way where you don't know exactly how this is going to go down and what the situation is going to be like. So it hits you hard, even though you know it's going to happen. Because I knew it was going to happen, but I was oh my God, it's happening. It really did a good job with that. And I just thought it was so heartwarming, and it gave me so many feelings. There were just so many moments where I felt for Sky so hard, and I really was shipping the ships, and I loved all the characters. Like Ali is such a great character, and Bree and Dan, and just the whole Marshall, like the whole cast of like main characters is so strong. And the teacher, like they have this teacher that really makes a difference in his life, and we all, I think, have that one teacher that like changes everything for us and can relate to that in such a like heartwarming way. I love the storyline with his dad's friend, and just I think that went in a direction I did not expect it to go, and it was just it was like a warm hug. I loved it. This is my favorite book of the month book so far, I think.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Wait, year or like all time?
Oh, sorry, no, this year. I was thinking this year. All time. How can you say that? There's too many. Even
over Chain of Iron?
I mean, Chain of Iron made me want to throw stuff out the window.
That's true, but I just figured because it's a casting.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid. Yeah. I agree with both of you guys. I really enjoyed this book. One element that I really like is how we do have this plot line and like this solid plot arc of, surrounding the promposal and like the countdown and exposing the hacker. But this also had so many like slice of life elements as well that I really enjoyed. Like because of that, there are a couple storylines that don't have like a super solid conclusion, which like works for this book still, because like it gives it that slice of life vibe where it's like that sometimes you don't always have like a neat little bow on every relationship arc. Like Sky's relationship with his family, for example, like we don't really have any sort of conclusion or final confrontation there, but that's okay because like we don't necessarily need that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was so heartwarming and at times so like anxiety producing. Like, we know the whole plot of this book is that his promposal plans are exposed in a homophobic email blast. But still, like Christine, you said, we knew the scene was coming, but still, like, as we're building up to it, I just felt so much dread and like, I just felt for Sky so much of like, he's dealing with this horrible situation and like, we know it's coming, but that doesn't lessen the impact of like, when it happens, how like horrible this event is for him. But again, I loved how his friends and his sort of adopted family, his found family, sort of like rallies around him and they have his back. And it ended up being like really heartwarming and wonderful and just a great little story that I really enjoyed.
You guys said all the good things. I as well really enjoyed it. I feel like it like struck a nice balance of being kind of like a light-hearted contemporary, but also having its serious moments too. And I really like appreciated that. Like it explores a lot of like interesting themes, like about like acceptance and like bullying is in there, and like found family, things like that. Like I really loved all those things that were brought to the table. I loved Robbie's writing style as well. Like it just
me too.
He executed everything so well. And I really appreciated that. And I also loved how many characters there were. Like, even though it was a little bit overwhelming, like I still loved having all these characters because I feel like they all brought so much to the story. And that was just really nice to see. So yes, and I agree with everything that Kat and Christine said eloquently. So, but we are now going to be diving into spoilery sections. So if you have not read this book, you should go read it. I recommend it. Do y'all recommend it?
Yeah.
And I'm really excited because this is a debut novel. So I'm excited to read more.
Guys, the film rights are already bought for this. It's going to be made.
Good.
Julia's company has it.
I don't know what that is.
My friend Julia, she has a production company.
I was like, what?
Yeah, and as soon as I posted about it, she was like, oh my God, we just acquired that. We're making that. And I was like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to be diving into spoilery section. If you have not read this book, go read it, then come back and watch the live show.
Yay!
All right, let's kick it off then. Let's talk about our favorite characters to start us off. It's an easy way. Who was your favorite character?
I loved Ali Rashid. Like, I felt like he was just the nicest person I've ever met.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I knew, like, in my head, I thought that Teddy was going to end up being the love interest. And, like, there were little hints at it. And, like, I was like, hello, Teddy is talking to you. I don't think he's straight. He keeps trying to talk to you. Like, he likes you. And he kept being like, oh, the straight people. I'm like, Teddy is like going out of his way to flirt with you. Open your eyes.
Yeah.
But anyway, that scene with Ali in the basement still gave me like all the giddy butterflies that he had when he was down there. Because like it does such a good job of like pulling us into that high school mindset where like, even like sometimes as an adult you have a crush like this where it's so all consuming that it's like 24/7. You're like, oh my god, that's what Ali would do right now. Like if Ali was here right now, what would he be thinking? Like, oh my god, Ali's eyebrows were like so on fleek today. And then you're like not with him, you're just like looking at someone else's eyebrows. Like that was his mindset, and it was so funny every time he was like, oh my god, Marshall's being so annoying about Ainsley, and I'm like, all you ever do is talk about Ali. Like calling the kettle black much. But I also loved Marshall. I thought like that speech he gave when Sky didn't answer any of his texts and stuff, and he talked about how he sees how it could be hard for him and understands that like it's hard for him to be around straight people and talk about this stuff, and he talks about like how it's hard for him to talk about stuff like the car, like blasting the music in the car because he doesn't want to be pulled over and all that stuff. Yeah, I just thought that was such a great friend speech. And he's like, I want to hear all the gay stuff all the time. Like, tell me. It was so cute. I loved his friends, but especially Marshall and Ali. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I just like went on a long I really liked this book.
Yeah, there were so many great characters, and they all brought something to the story. So it is really hard to choose a favorite one. I really liked Ali as well, because like I was nervous when we first find out that he has a crush and it's going to be revealed in whole school. There's always that like, how is the straight guy going to react to his gay friend? They're kind of friends at that point, like and then they become better friends, which is great. But like, how is he going to react to this situation? And he had such a great supportive reaction, which he just like went above and beyond in like the friend department for that. Like the t-shirts were his idea. Like he's a good guy. Like even though they didn't end up together, like he's still a good guy, and I really liked that. Yeah. I also really liked Teddy because, like Christine, you said, like I could kind of tell that like he was going to end up being the love interest, and that was being set up. And so he was just so sweet, and like you could tell he's flirting with you. He's not flirting with Bree. Like you're wrong.
Like when he came with all the boys thing, I was like, come on, Sky.
Wake up. What's in front of you?
Oh my god. Can I also just say about Ali, like, that scene did feel flirty. It was like, remember when I gave you that nickname back in 6th grade?
So like flirty. I was like, wait, maybe
like, he touched his knee and stuff. Like, that's flirty at a party. Come on.
My favorite character, well, I have 3 technically, but Teddy was definitely like my favorite character. I loved how like wholesome he was.
He was
going for it, like really flirting, and like all the boys I love you for memes that he was showing him. I just loved that. And then also, oh my gosh, Bree's parents.
Oh, yes.
Charlie and Brian, they were so great.
They were
good and supportive of Sky, and I just like loved them, and like it was just also nice to have that like parental presence, I guess, because I always appreciate that in a YA book, because like the whole like, oh, where are the parents in the YA book kind of thing. But yeah, I really liked their presence.
I mean, especially them with Sky's situation, like his mom kicked him out of the house at Christmas.
Can we talk about the reveal of that? Because it was kind of slow to pick up on, and I really like how he did it, because at first I thought that maybe his mom was living there too, because they were like on troubled times, and maybe like they're living together with like their family friends or something, and then like you learn more about his situation, and I was like wondering like, where is his mom? And then Bree is the one to be like, no, he's living with me because his mom kicked him out because when she found out he was gay, and it's just like hits you in the heart. Like, oh my God. I like just until he says it, you don't know for sure like that's what's going on. So sad.
Yeah. For a while, I thought that something tragic had also happened with his mom.
Yeah.
His dad died when he was 5 in the car accident. So it's like maybe his mom was having a rough time and like she couldn't afford to like stay with him or something happened. But to find out that she kicked him out was just, it's heartbreaking.
Really was. Yeah, I like started to cry at that. I cried so much reading this book. Like, all of the scenes really hit hard in like the best way. All those like moments, character moments.
Yeah, because I mean, as much as like the scenes involving his mom like hurt, then we also have like Bree's parents who like were there for him and so supportive, and like they became a family for him, and like her dad like teasing him in like the dad way.
Yeah.
And then even when he meets,
and they all know about Ali, like they're always just like, I think Ali. Oh my God, that would be mortifying for me.
And then later when he meets Charlie, his dad's best friend from high school, and like
what a wonderful family.
Wow.
I did want to mention that we are also taking your questions in the chat, so be sure to drop some questions. We're looking over them, but let's look at the commenters.
Oh my God. Well, okay.
Christine said Teddy is amazing.
With Beyond Measure just said that when his mom tried to send him to that camp, they were so mad. I cried in that scene too because I was expecting his brother not to be so horrible for some reason, and then he was terrible. Like that was really harsh and terrible. And I was at like the health store getting a smoothie, and I was like tearing up waiting for it in there when that was happening.
I almost feel like his brother is almost worse than Cliff, because like Cliff being a homophobic douchebag is one thing, but like his brother, it's just awful.
Yeah, it was just like he sounded so ignorant too when he was talking. Like, isn't it better to go to this and not be homeless? Like, you're basically homeless. What if? And he's like, no, I'm living with my friend. It was so mean. Ugh. And then his mom didn't even show up. I thought she was going to show up like at the last minute, and she didn't. And then I was really hoping that yearbook, maybe his mom dropped it off, and like had come back around on what she said, but obviously she didn't.
Yeah. This is one that I had on my list. What was your? Oh, why did my dictionary just pop up? What was your
favorite scene?
Asked Juliana White.
I
mean, the Promposal is my favorite scene. It was so epic.
So cute.
I wasn't really expecting it, so it was just so sweet.
I was like, Teddy's gonna Prompose.
Well, I mean, I was expecting it, but the character wasn't expecting it, is what I mean.
Yeah. I was expecting the Promposal, but I didn't see it coming that like all the things that like Marshall was like asking him was like.
Yeah, I love that. That was so sweet.
That was so great.
What a good friend. My God.
Yeah, that was really sweet. And like at the beginning, when we started to see that Teddy was obviously interested in Sky didn't realize it. I was wondering, I was like, is Marshall setting them up? Like, is that what this was? And it was like, and I love when Sky asks like subtly to Marshall, he's like, so what girls does he like? Like, who is he into? And Marshall's like, huh? What? And he just like doesn't really respond. I really love the scene where they're all making their shirts in Bree's basement, and Teddy comes down in his suit. Everyone's like, ow! And this guy was like, I didn't know he played piano. I didn't know he has other facets to his personality. Yeah, I don't know if that's when he starts to question if like Teddy could possibly like him, but when he finally does, I was like, finally.
Yeah. I think that is when he first started to question it, because Teddy put Sky's name on his.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that part too.
Yes.
Yeah, I also really liked, this was an early scene, but when we first are introduced to the promposal wall.
Oh my gosh.
Because his friendship with Bree is really sweet, and like how supportive of crush she is, how she'll stalk him with
Yes.
like she's just really there for him. But also we had all these like great little friendship moments where it's like, you know, he's almost like preparing for the nostalgia in the moment of like, you know, we only have so much more time together, so many more of these moments of like the end of our senior year, and like just trying to like enjoy this time together while they still have it before everyone like goes off to different colleges and like splits up.
And that's super really like I remember thinking that all through senior year. Like, oh my God, this could be the last time we're all together. Like this could be our last this could be our last that. And it's true, like everything's different as much as you want it to be the same. But I was gonna say, I think one of my favorite scenes, even though one of my favorite seasons is in the basement with Ali. Like I thought that was like so exciting. Like you were so there with him. But I wanted to talk about the scene in the yearbook room when he's sitting next to Ali and he's like, "What's wrong?" And like, could you imagine like your promposal wall of like obsessive crush shit being shown to them, and like they might not even like be, and of course he's not even gay, so it's like even more uncomfortable. It's just being your crush is uncomfortable, but like not knowing if he's interested in dudes, it's just like so horrifying. And in the moment, like when he was like, it's just a joke, and Ollie's like, it's a joke. He's, well, it's kind of a joke. I was like, oh my God, poor Bree's there, like, what have I done? I put out the internet thing without looking at it.
Yeah. And I feel especially bad for her because she was already going through something like quietly on her own, you know?
I know. I was like, why isn't anyone pushing her to tell them?
Yeah. Just so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. For a while, I was like, what was going on with her? Are we ever going to find out?
Let's see here.
That scene gave me an existential crisis.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, I was walking the dog when that was happening. I was like, oh my God, someone like get him out of there.
Oh, here we have a question from, oh my gosh, why does my dictionary keep popping up?
Your dictionary?
No, when I click on the questions, the dictionary keeps popping up. Anyways, what did you guys think of Cliff coming forward before the gang got a chance to bust him? How did you feel about how that whole situation went down?
I thought that was like, I was proud of him for doing that. Like in my own way, I was like, I'm glad he's doing that. And I think he's trying to change, which is, you know, a step forward. He doesn't have to like go see him apologize or whatever, but I'm just like, I'm glad that he is trying to grow, because I feel like that's what we get the impression of at the end.
And I mean, he didn't know how close they were to exposing him.
Yeah.
So, because like the principal wasn't doing.
Yeah, the principal. Oh my God.
So like it does show a sort of step in the right direction, and I think part of like how the class reacted sort of like put him in his place a little bit, because like, I probably thought that everyone would like continue to bully Sky, or like everyone would think it was a big joke. But everyone like came out in support of Sky, and so probably feeling like on the spot. And I hope he felt guilty.
Yeah, I almost think that they probably doing that with the shirts probably changed him for the rest of his life. Like he thought he saw, like it made him realize that he had done something that was really. It made him realize that he had done something that's really wrong, and that he needs. It kind of pushed him into that introspection that you need to grow. So I think they made a huge difference, and like every person, that you make a difference, and it makes a difference. So.
Wit Beyond Measure asks, did you guys think it was actually Cliff, or did you think it turned out to be someone else?
I'm glad that it didn't turn out like, I'm glad it wasn't like a mystery. It was more like, we just have to get the proof, because because of that, we got to get so much more character time with everybody.
I did think that it might not be Cliff, because they jumped to that conclusion very quickly. And especially with their first clue of like connecting like who was working in the basement and like who might have taken the photo, and then like, oh, they're cousins with this. I was like, that might be the connection, but like, what if it isn't? Like, what if it was someone else? And like, I could see it going in a different direction. But I don't know. Like Christine said, I'm kind of glad that it was Cliff and we didn't have to go on like, we didn't have to spend too much plot focused on that. Like we could enjoy the characters and their dynamics, and it didn't have to be about this douchey homophobic guy. Like we didn't have to waste more time on him than we already have.
Yeah.
The only there was a moment where I was sus of Brie just because of that morning.
I think a lot of people
were being so weird, and I was like, okay, is she like in on this in some way? I didn't think it was her necessarily, but I thought maybe she was like working with somebody. But I also was like, why would she do that? Like,
yeah,
so in so many ways.
I wasn't suspicious of her in that way. I thought that maybe she was the one who had taken the photo.
Yeah,
someone else had gotten a hold of the photo.
I thought about that. I was like, oh no.
Like it was kind of her fault, but it wasn't at all intentional. Because that was the thing where I was like, how the hell did Cliff get a photo of like in his
But I guess it was, she also was holding that guilt because she didn't look at the e-blast before she sent it out.
Yeah.
I really like this question. What was your yearbook club in school? Like in high school, what was the thing that got you through that you looked forward to all the time?
Oh. It wasn't with school.
What was it?
It was just my friends outside of school. For my senior year, I did something called senior seminar, where instead of going to class every single day, I only went to class 1 day a week. And then like most of it was like distance learning.
Wow.
Because most of my friends were a year ahead of me. So when they graduated a year ahead of me, like I only had like a few other friends and we all did senior seminar together. So my senior year, I don't really feel like I had a senior year because I was only going 1 day a week and I was working full time. And yeah, I didn't really have anything like that.
What about you, Jesseth?
Mine was actually yearbook because I was in yearbook. I started my sophomore year and did it like until I graduated. So it was just like the best. Like the teacher was just like so chill and like accepting of everybody, and I felt like I really thrived on like creative artistic things in high school. Like that was like my thing. We didn't really have much of that at the school that I attended, and so like to have that space was just so nice to like go around, take pictures all the time, and yeah, it was just nice. And like I got along with pretty much everybody in my yearbook class, so it was just really nice. Yeah.
Cool. I think, I have to say mine is cheerleading, and it was in a different way than like Sky's kind of was. I didn't, like the girls on there weren't nice to me, but I had my best friend with me and I love stunting. And so like I would just look forward to practice because I loved flying. And like, it's the closest I've ever come to like actually flying. Like I just love being up there. And like, when I think about it, I'm like, wow, I'm never gonna get to do that again. And it was just like, every time I get this like adrenaline rush that I never get doing anything else. And it was this thing that made it worth going to school, and I didn't want to. So I'm like, I get to do that today. But yeah, I also I loved my photography class, but it wasn't the same as cheerleading because like I also love competing, and I was like that cheerleading like encompassed all that. I'm like so passionate about the actual physical part of it, and working as like a team and trusting everybody in that way is really cool.
Do you have any videos of you like as a cheerleader?
Yeah, I have like really bad quality ones from my senior year of like our routine and stuff. I wish I had more. Like honestly, I wish there was like camera phones because then I would have like more footage from that time.
Yeah.
But it was the best, and I was like so competitive about it, and I was like the flyer that didn't fall because I was like so determined not to.
That tracks for you.
Yeah, good times.
Let's see here. Ross asks, do you guys like the tattoo twist at the end? I thought that was like a sweet way to kind of end the story and like
yeah,
his dad and stuff.
You could almost picture them like adopting him in a way. It was kind of like they were taking him in, and they were like, you could sleep over whenever you want, and he's gonna work for him. Like, so nice.
Yeah, I really liked that aspect because of the whole, like, you know, he's hated this scar on him his whole life, and like he doesn't want anyone to see it. And so that moment was kind of a moment of acceptance. Like, instead of going a different route of like trying to get rid of it with like through like dermatologist techniques or something, like instead of working on like hiding it and getting rid of it, he chose it as a way to like memorialize his father. And I really liked that element.
Yeah, no, that was really sweet. And like, again, like they bring you into it thinking that they're going to get lasered off, and it's not. It's cute. What did you think of that moment where they were like figuring out who he was? I was mortified. I was like, Sky, get out of there. They know it's you. Like, as soon as he asked, it's like, oh my God, that was the dermatologist his mom took him to.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I wanted him to figure it out though, because I knew he wasn't going to have a bad reaction.
Yeah,
right?
It was just like knowing that you lied so hard, like, and he wasn't like admitting it. It was just when he first went in there, I was like, oh my God, can you just tell him the truth? Like,
yeah.
Like, do you want to buy a yearbook page as like a 40-year-old man? Like, what?
Wit Beyond Measure asks, what ideas would be on your promposal wall?
A lot of morp. I went through like my promposal ideas in my video. What were your guys' promposal ideas? Did you think about it?
No, I didn't either.
I can't believe you didn't even think about it.
I never did promposal stuff in high school. Like, I just went with Kathleen, my like really good.
How did you ask Kathleen?
With my sister, and I would just like go up to her and be like, "Hey, let's go to prom together."
Promposals weren't really a thing when I was in high school.
Yes, they were, Kat. I was there.
The internet was barely a thing when I was in high school.
What does that have to do with promposals?
My school didn't. First of all,
I'm in the middle of nowhere too, so like.
Yeah, I live in a small ass town in the middle of nowhere. No one had the internet. No one knew what promposal was. I didn't even go to my senior prom. I only went to junior prom because my friends had all graduated the year before.
We didn't have the term promposal. It was just like that's how you ask someone to prom like a cool way.
Yeah. I feel like
there was none of that, or maybe there was among the popular students, and I just don't know about it.
Even still, like I feel like I would have been too shy to do any like big epic thing. Like I would not have been able to do it. So
I mean, like I don't think I'd be able to do it unless it was like someone I really, really, really knew.
Yeah. I'm like
for a stranger, no, I would go die in a hole.
But aside from that, if I were to do a promposal, it would depend entirely on the person.
Yeah.
So I would want to do like a very like catered to them promposal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Jenna.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, go.
Okay, I was just gonna say, like Jenna, her boyfriend was a year older, so for our senior prom, she like did a Build-A-Bear, and you know how you could put like a noise inside it. She put like the noise, like, "Will you go to prom with me?" in his Build-A-Bear.
I love that. So wait, if somebody were to ask you out in an epic way to prom, how would you want it to be done?
Well, see, I wouldn't want them to know. I would want to be surprised. Like, I wouldn't want to tell them how to do it, because then I would be
not like telling them, but like if you were to envision it, like being asked to prom in some cool way, what would you want?
Well, like I feel like this happened to me last time when I told everyone what I wanted, and then they did exactly that, and I didn't want it. Like you just took my idea. Like this is I don't know if you saw the video. But
no one's gonna take this idea.
What if years from now, like someone I'm dating watches this and then steals it and then does it and thinks it's cute? Like what? Not that John would watch this.
Well, you're telling them right now not to do it, so they better listen to you. Tell us.
Well, I would do something cool, maybe with if they liked books, maybe I'd like get 4 books and like put them around their like apartment or room and like carve out the inside so that like the pages have like the letter carved into them, and each one would be a letter of like prom, and they'd be all mixed up, so you'd have to like figure out what's going on with these fucking books that just appeared, and it'll be like prom and like cool book carvings. What about you guys? Would you say yes to my promposal?
I would want to be taken to like a bookstore and then like have me do a scavenger hunt and like lead up to all these clues. That
would be cool too.
Did you go to prom with me?
Anything that has like clues and puzzles.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a scavenger hunt has always kind of appealed to me. But I wouldn't
like
want.
Leslie Knope does that for Ben.
Yeah,
What?
like what I wouldn't want was something big where I'm like put on the spot.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Love Simon movie where the guy like asks Abby out in front of like he's dressed as a mascot and he like totally puts her on the spot and it's so uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Not about it.
Yeah, even just like being asked in front of a bunch of friends, like I don't want that.
Yeah, I would want it to be something more like private and personal. Like it doesn't need to be in front of everyone. It doesn't have to be a big public thing.
Yeah. Like there's very few instances where I feel like a public thing would be nice. It's like if you already knew that you would say yes and you already are like in a really solid relationship, maybe it could be cute if it's the right thing. But like
Yeah.
I would murder books. Yeah, I would murder like books that are old and like arcs.
Let's see here.
Remember for like Bad Blood, I had like all of these arcs we brought that like would be thrown out anyway. We destroyed them. I would use those.
I like this question. Do you think Sky needed closure with his mom, or do you think that closure was rounded with the winter twist at the end?
Do you think Sky needed closure with his mom, or do you think?
I mean, I don't think we need to see the closure in the book. Like, I think
that was one of the more open-ended things.
I think he is going to need to talk to her at some point in the future, probably.
Yeah.
But where we leave off in the book, like it doesn't seem like a reconciliation is in the cards for the immediate future, because like not only did she kick him out at Christmas, but she's only willing to like have him come back if he goes to this camp but like doesn't quite seem like a camp that's going to try to like force him to be straight, but it's like borderline. Like they're not going to accept him being gay, obviously. Like that's why his mom wants to send him there. So like we're far away from reconciliation, but like maybe at some point.
Yeah, I think that's also part of what makes the story so powerful. Like your family relationship isn't always going to wrap up and be perfect. Like a lot of times you have to work on it and it's going to take a while and it's going to be upsetting, and that's what it's showing. Like even though that's upsetting, there's a lot of aspects of his life where he's really lucky, and that's where the friendship line really came in strong. Like hold on to friends that are like that because they're everything, and it was really nice.
Yeah. And
like even if he's not a part of like his mom and brother's lives anymore, like he has so much adopted family now with Bree's family and his dad's friends. So
right. I like what Beyond Measure says here. It says, I felt like his closure was him realizing he didn't need his mom or brother. He had his own family outside of him.
Yeah. No, that was really, really strong, positive storyline closure there for me. Yeah. What would you put on your gay for shirt? With Beyond Measure is just putting lots of great questions in here. I think I would put gay for Villanelle from Killing Eve. I am so attracted to that murderer, which is fucked up.
Who is it?
Villanelle. She's the coolest.
Oh.
She's a serial killer.
Oh. Casbrecker.
That's a good one. I could also put Nina because I love her so much.
Gay for Twice.
Nice.
Who's that?
The K-pop band that I like.
Oh. Gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's so many good Six of Now. I'm just thinking of the Six of Crows characters.
I still haven't seen it.
Gay for Milo the Goat. Oh, you guys haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it yet, but I know the reference because I've seen everything on Twitter. This is from Pushed Off the Edge. Were you scared for life after high school? Did you remain close with your close high school friends?
I remember I was scared, but I know I was gonna be close to like my two best friends. It's just like like Winter said, you have to go out of your way to make sure that you're like keeping in touch.
Yeah. I feel like I was scared a little bit after high school just because I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I still don't really know what I want to do, but it's like things worked out in the way that they were supposed to. So yeah, and I feel like
Were you scared of your friendships?
I wasn't. I didn't have a lot of friends at the school that I went to. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Kathleen.
Yeah, even you're basically still really close with your.
Yeah, and that one stuck together because we just have that bond that goes beyond friendship, in my opinion. Like we're family now. Like that's kind of like I associate her as a sister. So like I wasn't really that concerned about that friendship. Obviously, we still fight and bicker all the time, but like we still have that closeness and we know we're always going to be in each other's lives. So I think, yeah, it's just like also having that reassurance from them, like hearing her say that to me is like helpful and like knowing that we'll be friends for life. So
yeah. And it's kind of like you always, whenever you see them, I feel like you just kind of pick up. It's
all right back in the place to where you were. You know?
That's like how you know, like you're solid forever. You can just like always just see each other and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really scared for life after high school. I mean, it didn't, because my senior year was so weird, it didn't really seem like a big deal for me at the time. And also so many of my friends were like staying in the small town where I was in and like also going to community college with me. So like it didn't feel like it was much of an ending. But I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to do then. And I definitely didn't see myself being where I am now 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I was scared in that respect. I feel like but the friend thing was a big fear. I feel like at the end of high school, it's like, everything's going to change. Like, are we going to not talk to each other anymore? I feel like it was scary for me just going from, like year to year in elementary school. It's like, if we're not in the same class, are we still going to be friends? Like, do you remember that?
Yeah, that was scarier for me, too.
Yeah, like, that was horrifying.
Friendships were so much more fragile back then. Like once you're in your late teens, it's easier to like have your own relationships that are like independent.
And once you had a phone,
yeah. Well, but when you're younger, like it relies so much on like who your friends and your parents allow you to be friends with, kind of thing. Yeah. Like you have like friends over, go to friends' houses, like
Like Jenna and I became best friends in 3rd grade, and then we're in the same class in 4th grade. And our parents put in notes to request that we were in the same class for 5th grade. And then Mrs. Gehring didn't put us in the same class, and we got so upset. We were like crying when we found out our classes there. And Miss Gehring was like, "You're gonna be able to branch out right now."
My mom worked as the secretary at the school that I went to, and so she got to choose like who I got to be in class with.
So cool.
I kind of lucked out there.
Were you in elementary school with Kathleen?
Yeah.
Oh, so you just got to be in the same class?
The only class we were not into or in the same was kindergarten. We were in separate classes, but first grade, same class. So
that's so cool.
I know.
There's like 2 years that stand out to me, like outside of elementary school, because Jen and I had the same schedule because we were like taking all the same classes, and they were the best years. Like 7th grade, every class we had together, and then junior or senior, which year was it? One of those years we had all the same classes, and it was amazing.
I guess high school was a little bit different because like we chose.
Yeah, because everyone is in different blocks. Yeah, you had to get really lucky.
We had a few classes together though.
Kind of. In my case, it was only kind of lucky because if you chose the same electives, then you were definitely in the same classes.
Yeah. Well, we weren't in the same. We had Italian, and like there's only like one Italian class for each level, and we were both in Italian honors, so that you have that line up and you have your elective line up, then things start to line up.
Am I the only one who just kept being like, Sky, just tell Charlie who you are? Why would you lie?
Yeah, I feel like we were all like that, right? Like,
At the point where I was like, okay, let's just.
who's a traveling yearbook salesman?
Well, I mean, the thing is, maybe not at first. Like once, but by the time he was on his second visit, we're like, I think that's when he found out. By that point, I was like, you should just tell him. But like at first, he was still like vetting out the situation and figure out who exactly Charlie was and like if he would even have a positive reaction to Sky. Like it was so unknown.
Yeah.
What Taylor Swift song would you?
This question was on my list.
You belong with me from Teddy's point of view.
I would choose Christine's all-time favorite song, "New Romantics."
Oh, you're making a joke.
I think that song fits though. It's like
I don't even know the lyrics, so I can't tell you.
New Romantics.
Maybe I would build a castle with all the bricks that you threw at me. I don't know, like that's.
Oh, you know what song would kind of fit? From Sky's perspective about Ali is "Gorgeous."
Oh my God, yes, that would fit so well.
I love it.
Or like the night that they talked, "Delicate." Poor Sky was so excited. Like that morning was the morning after they had talked on that couch like that weekend. Oh, such a bummer. Video idea, react to old high school yearbook photos. I wasn't in that many yearbook photos. I feel like Jesse, because you were in the yearbook committee. Did you make sure there were like pictures of you and your friends in the yearbook?
A little bit. And if there were people who were bullies, I made sure. Like I was bad too. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I would go through, cut the pictures out of the yearbook, and then I would delete the files from the computer to make sure it didn't get back in. Because I was like, I don't like these people. They don't deserve to be in there. Like,
oh my God!
But listen,
what excellent revenge on your bullies. Yeah, I was lucky if there was like a picture outside of my school picture. Like I always went to the cheerleading page and was like, please, I want to be in one of the pictures.
Also though, I went to like a really small school, so like it wasn't hard to have your picture be in your book. So when we did have a picture, like it was always like me and Jenna or Christina and the three of us or something, and it was like gold. It was like, oh my God, we made it, we did it, we're in the yearbook. Love it.
Yeah. Were you guys like obsessed with yearbooks? Like it was like you had to have it? Because I felt that when like Brie was like, I read through 5 times. I'm like, oh my God, Brie, I feel you on this.
I just remember like I wasn't like obsessed with it, but I was just like so excited when they came out and like just looking through like the first time.
I remember my mom forgot to put in the money when I was like in 5th or 6th grade, and like the deadline had already passed, and I came home crying. So I was like, Mom, I'm not gonna get a yearbook. And she like ran to the office with a check.
Oh my gosh. I remember actually a big deal was like who you passed out like your school picture to, like the little ones.
Oh my God, that was like in elementary school.
Yeah, elementary school obviously, but like
and it was like, you want to give one to your crush?
Yeah. And then like at one point like they came out with these package deals where you could have like keychains of like your picture and stuff. So, like everybody would like have their keychain of their school picture on their back. Really cool.
That's so dumb.
I know, it really, like looking back, I'm like, wow. That was a big deal.
Do they do that anymore? Because I would think that like pictures are all online now, so like people don't care about.
I know. I was just thinking about that. I mean, the parents probably still order pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like it's not a thing to like pass out like your school portraits to friends.
Yeah. I mean, it stopped being a thing after like 2nd grade. I feel like
they still did it in high school.
Oh, I didn't do that in high school. But I do remember trading with like Jenna and Christina and stuff, like just like, or like my friends who would just like give each other little pictures. But what a time, yearbooks. Did you guys like do big pages for your best friends, like of written letters for their yearbook?
Oh, the finding where to sign was always an adventure because it's like there's the front and back covers, and then there's always
like an extra page.
Yeah.
But, like, people would also like leave notes inside, like throughout the book, like where their pictures were, or where like club or team pictures were?
I can't remember. I feel like there was like a Lizzie McGuire episode where like they were
Tags.
writing like notes in the yearbook, and I remember like I copied one of the things that she wrote in somebody's yearbook or something.
Tags never change was, I feel like, in that episode.
Something like that. I don't remember.
But like my best friends, like the core group of 4, we would all take up like a page each in the yearbook for each other. Like I would write, and it was like all inside jokes. So you just write like popcorn air, like all these like random shit that like when you look back on it, you're like, what the fuck does this mean?
My yearbooks are somewhere in like I still have boxes full of books that are like kind of in storage because I don't have enough shelf space. And my yearbooks are somewhere in there. I tried looking for them, but I couldn't find them. They're somewhere around here. I want to look through it again now, though. I wonder if it was so long ago. Oh my God.
I have to like mail them to myself the next time because my mom wants to move to a smaller place. So like I have to mail all that shit that she's kind of just storing for me to myself so that I have it. So I want those yearbooks.
Oh, of course.
So yeah, I want to go back and read all that shit too now.
And I think it's been 15 years since I graduated from high school.
That's crazy. 15? What does that mean then?
I graduated in 06.
Oh, I graduated in 08. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know. You're at 13, Christine.
This is my 10th year out.
Do you have a 10-year reunion coming up?
Reunion?
I don't think so. Nobody's planned it. Like it has to be
the president.
What?
The president of your class is supposed to plan it.
He wasn't a very good president, so he's not gonna sorry. that ain't happening. I also feel like COVID right now, so I think it's kind of like reunion, but
that's a bummer. It was really I feel like it was weird, but it was like a really interesting experience to go to the reunion and like just see.
Oh, you went to yours?
Oh yeah, I went to the 10-year with Jenna and Christina, and I went together. And it was so weird because like the close, there's your close friends, but then there's like the friends you were close to in school, but didn't like,
casual acquaintance.
Yeah, that you really loved hanging out with like in your classes and stuff. And like it was just the same. Like we hung out, and it was so nice to see what they were up to, and like they were all so nice, and they like knew about my book and had like ordered it, and it was just like so nice of them to do that and stuff, and like still kind of. Now I like follow them all on Instagram, and it's so fun to watch what they're doing.
I did not go to mine. I'm not even 100% sure there was one. Like, I don't use Facebook. I'm not really in contact with like most people from high school. But I feel like if it did happen, then I know that the people who I am still in contact with weren't going. So, and also again, most of my friends were the year above me. So, like, I don't want to go to my high school reunion. I want to go to theirs.
Right.
That's like, I would never go to my college reunion because, like, I didn't have close friends. So it's just like, and my best friend's like from the year below me. So it's just like, doesn't make any difference. Who's your favorite teacher? Oh my gosh, let's do that question.
Yeah, I like that question.
What teacher was the one that made your difference? Or you could do 2.
Okay, yeah, I have 2 actually.
Tell us.
So mine was like my English teacher from freshman and sophomore year. She left after that. She was my English teacher, and then also she ran the yearbook club.
Nice.
So she was just like really nice, just really cool. She had tattoos, and like that was like a big deal because like small Christian school, oh, she has tattoos. And yeah, I don't know. She was just like really encouraging and just like I don't know, wanted the best for us, and it was just really nice. And then my second teacher was the English teacher that replaced her. She was my English teacher, and then she was also the drama club teacher, and I did drama club as well. So
nice.
Really fun, and just like she was an older lady, and she was just kind of like really dramatic about everything, and was just I don't know, really.
That's always so fun.
Yeah.
Kat.
I mean, this is hard because I wasn't really close to many of my teachers in high school. I mean, maybe my senior seminar teacher, because like I did spend like so much time with her during my senior year, because like that was like my only class.
Yeah.
But one of the teachers that I like remember the most was actually from junior high, and it was my band teacher. Because band was always such a fun class, and like he was always so passionate about the music, and like he would be like conducting at the front, and he'd like get so into it, and it was just a really fun class overall. So yeah, he was probably one of my favorite teachers.
Cool. I feel like I have like 3. I have like one from each like major school era, but like I put Miss Gearing is my 4th grade teacher. I just told you she's the one that split me and Jenna up for 5th grade, but she was like, she used to read aloud like a chapter of a book every day and then give us like an hour of dear time afterward. And so she read Witches like by Roald Dahl out loud to us, and that was the first book like I read about witches, and like really got me obsessed with reading about magic. And she's the one that gave us dear time, and then I started reading Harry Potter, and like it just like started it all. She came to my Again But Better event in New Jersey. And it was so sweet of her. I guess my mom wrote to her and told her that I had mentioned her in the acknowledgments. And so she came to the event. And like at first, I had seen her since I was 9 years old. So like I saw her in the front row. My mom was like pointing to her when I looked over, and I was like I didn't know who it was because I couldn't click, the face with how I knew her. And then like she came up to, to get me to sign the book, and it was just like the sweetest thing. I was like almost tearing and like a lot at once. But then the other one is my English teacher from junior year. And he was like the coolest teacher, even though you would never think it. He was like this old white bald man, but like he was so passionate about the books. And I probably talked about this, but he used to give us these pop quizzes every time we had to read like a couple chapters from whatever we were reading. And half the questions would be about the book and like really intricate things, like what was the date that this happened, and like how many sisters did this obscure character have. And then I would read the books taking notes about these things because I knew he would ask about it. And then he would have 5 extra credit questions that were completely irrelevant, like how many diners are in New York City, or like what is the most watched television day of the week. And those would give you extra credit, and depending on how hard they were or how many points you would get. So I'd get like 105, 110. I would always try to beat my record. And for our college essays, he like really gave us like the instruction that we needed to like write that, and then he chose mine as like the sample essay and read it out loud, and like just like gave me all this belief in myself and like my ability to write, and it changed so much. It was just like the best. And then like Olivia's class, he read it to them, and they were like, she read your essay, and I was like, oh my god.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then I had the same, like, my screenwriting professor was like the same, like super encouraging writing wise, and like give such good advice. And those make such a big difference. Like it just gives you the courage and the belief that you can do what you think you're good at, you want to be good at. So yeah. Good times.
Good times, throwback.
Like teachers are so important, and like I feel like it's not till you're older that you really appreciate like how important they were. To your life. Definitely. People in the chat, what kind of teacher was your most important teacher? I feel like all of ours was like English.
I know. Wait, Kat, what instrument did you play? Somebody's asking in the chat.
Clarinet.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, when was the last time you played clarinet?
20 years ago.
Maybe you should pick it back up and get back into it.
Get it on screen right now.
I do have it somewhere. I still have it, but I have no idea where it is. And also, I tried to play it like several years after being in band, and like I couldn't anymore. Like I just couldn't.
Somebody just is it Justine? Justine said French teacher. That's cool. I really liked my Italian teacher. She was cool. She was a hard ass, but me and Jenna were favorites. So. Ooh, Flute and saxophone, guitar and ukulele, Juliana.
Wow.
Books,
My Bible teacher and my band teacher. That's cool spread.
books in Boston's also their English teacher.
Nice.
Inspiring. Awesome.
Yeah, that's really
Wow. That was our live show for this.
Yeah, that was a fun discussion.
We had a lot of good discussions, I feel like.
Yeah.
Excited to check out more by Robbie Couch and Teacher.
Yes.
Our next book of the month is, who has it? Oh, you have it. Happily Ever After.
Happily Ever Afters.
Oh, it's just Happily Ever Afters. And it's by,
Elise Bryant.
yeah, and we're reading that this month because it's May. Ew, I hate it. Our live show will be later.
Why do you hate May?
I just hate that it's May already.
It
Like,
went by in like 2 seconds. Like
literally disgusting.
How did
did.
April over?
Yeah.
It did. Now it's like anxiety month because of my books coming out.
This book comes out June 1st, so a month from today. Better Together. Just like thinking of the title.
Order now at christinerachia.com.
Yes. I'm Jesse.
I'm Christine.
I'm Kat. We're
We're
books.
Thanks for watching.